Dyslexia affects about 10% of the population, 1 in 10. So every time you're in a room where there's 100 people, 10 of them potentially are somewhere on the dyslexia spectrum. They could be in your family, they could be in your classroom, they could be in your workplace, they could be you. There are 5 resources that I think are important to consult to try and understand dyslexia, even at a basic level. The first of them is the National Health Service website, the NHS. They have a very thorough explanation of what dyslexia is. That's a good place to go to start with, because it is a reputable resource. The next place to head to is Dyslexia Action. On that website, again, you'll find lots of resources and information about dyslexia, accommodations, technology, all that kind of thing. Things that you can use to deal with dyslexia. The next place I would send you to is a book called The Dyslexic Advantage. It was written a number of years ago, and it looks at dyslexia from a completely different point of view. It sees dyslexia from giving an advantage. Obviously, there are huge disadvantages that come from dyslexia, but that change of tactic, that change of direction as we look at dyslexia really helps the individual to understand the strengths of dyslexia and not just constantly looking at the weaknesses that come from it. The next place I would send you to is a lady in America who writes a blog called Homeschooling with Dyslexia. The reason her blog is worth reading is she has a large family. Her husband has dyslexia and it's came from his side of the family, and then she has had to deal with her children, large family, as she homeschools them. So it's the tactics that she has built up over the years to deal with that and to help those children. So if you're having to look after your own children and they're at school, it can give you some good tips or advice or things to do at home. If you are dyslexic yourself, it gives you ideas how you can learn and educate yourself. Or if you are in further education, or you are at school, or you're at university, it can give you tactics. The final book, maybe coming from a much darker angle, is a book called Dyslexia and Mental Health. Because of the pressures that come from dyslexia, the feelings of frustration, and so often children at school who are clever kids and they're not able to fulfill their potential in the situation and the circumstances that they are in, they can feel very discouraged. And that discouragement through lack of examinations, lack of qualifications, and lack of opportunity can follow them right the way through life. And that pressure that comes to bear on them can have a huge effect. So that book is important to understand the potential consequences that come from dyslexia whenever it is not dealt with in an adequate way, or extra pressure is put upon children or adults with dyslexia in the circumstances that they would find themselves in. So there are 5 resources. I'm going to put them below this post, and links either to Amazon or the websites themselves or other places you can find where you can buy the books or get them on Kindle or for e-readers. So hopefully those 5 books I hope are helpful and will be useful for anyone who has to deal with someone with dyslexia or is dyslexic themselves.